Sairam. Welcome to Sri Sathya Sai Logaseva Gurukulam video sessions. Introduction to Social Science. Imagine that you have a time machine. What will you do with that time machine? Yes, you can connect to your own past. Here, we are using this time machine to understand about the past. Here, you are traveling back to your own grandparents when they were children. Here, you are using this time machine to understand when your grandparents were children. When you observe your own home and the surroundings, it is different, entirely different. When you travel back further, you can understand that the food habits and the culture, you will be fascinated or surprised by the custom, the language which they were using. Is it interesting to connect to your own past? Yes. Here, by studying social science, you are connecting to your own past. Don't you think that it is a mystery which has to be solved? Using the sources, we are connecting to our own past till the present date. Social science as an academic discipline. Social science, as the name suggests, it is concerned about the society. What does it mean by society? Yes, the community which we live. Social science aims at understanding all the aspects of the society. We are discussing about the different aspects of the society as well as finding solution to deal with social problems. Here, in a broad way, we are discussing about the different domains of social science. It is history and archaeology, geography, political science, sociology and economics. In this chapter, in detail, you will be learning about all these different subjects of social science. Social science as an academic discipline. As human beings, we have gone through several stages to evolve from when we lived in caves to today's modern cities. See how man has evolved. Ancient time, when we understand that how we started our life. Even in science class, you have learned about evolution of man. As an ape from Homo sapiens, how we have changed to human beings. So, as human beings, we have gone through several stages to evolve from when we lived in caves. Initially, human beings, we were wanderers. Later on, man started settled in caves, and how to the modern township, how we are living in cities. That we are discussing through social science. History is not simply a set of facts about our past, but also it is helping us to learn from that facts. For example, if you take Indian history, in that you have learned how we have got independence. Initially, we were under the rule of Britishers. And the freedom movement, how Gandhiji, he had entered the Indian politics. And step by step, what has happened in the Indian freedom movement, and finally we got the independence. Like that, history, it is having a set of facts, which from that we are learning. Social science also helps us to acquire a capacity to make interconnection between various subjects, as I told. Evolution of man, that you have learned even in science classes. So, it is bringing an interconnection between different subjects. We will learn to draw linkages between our past, present and future. Just now discussing when Britishers, when they were ruling India, India was an underdeveloped country. And at present stage, if we discuss, India is a developing nation. And history is also giving future hopes. We are hoping that in the future, India will be a developed nation. Study of social science. As an academic discipline or a field of study is a branch of knowledge that is taught at various levels of education and research at university level. Just understand that in lower classes, when you have learned, you have understood this social science itself as social studies. When you came to higher grade, we are using the term as social science. So it is an academic discipline or a field of study is a branch of knowledge that is taught in various levels of education and research at even university level. Do you know that initially there was only one discipline? Do you know which is that? Yes, that was philosophy. Philosophy means love for wisdom and knowledge. Do you know the highest degree of education, that is PhD, that is Doctor of Philosophy? Even if you are passionate about studying social science or history or any subject, you can take this degree, doctorate, the highest degree of any studies, that is doctorate. Philosophy means love for wisdom and knowledge. When knowledge started increasing and expanding, a need was felt to classify knowledge into different disciplines. As I have discussed in the previous slide, in social science itself, we are discussing as different disciplines. It is, as you have learned, history, archaeology, geography, political science, sociology, and economics. Science and social science can be differentiated. Here in science, it is bifurcation is there in science, that is physics, chemistry, and biology. Similarly, social science, as I told just now. Environmental science, that is the knowledge of natural and physical world. Here again we are discussing, that is this environmental science. It is a knowledge of natural and physical world. Here that is natural environment. In that natural part, we will be discussing about natural environment. In the physical world, you will be learning about physics, chemistry, space studies, astronomy, everything it will come under that. Social science is a knowledge of all the aspects of society and human beings. So here in social science, in detail, we are discussing about the society where we human beings, we are living. Here, I just want to show some of the PhD holders which you are familiar with. Do you know this great personality? Who is he? Yes, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, in whose name we are celebrating this Teachers' Day. Do you know when is the Teachers' Day? Yes, September 5th. We are celebrating this Teachers' Day in the name of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. He is also a PhD holder. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, he has done research work in the field of Indian philosophy and he had got the doctorate. Next personality, that is Dr. Padma Subramaniam. She is a famous Bharatanatyam dancer and she had done the research work and got the doctorate in the field of dance. This personality, do you know who is he? Yes, he is APJ Abdul Kalam, who was the 11th President of India. Do you know how many doctorates he had received? Yes, he had received 7 doctorates and he had done the research work in the field of aerospace science. Study of social science. Here we are discussing history, about history. What is history? As the name suggests, history means history. Whose story it is? The story of we human beings. And it is the study of past. History is about the real people and real things. Don't think that we are writing something, imagination, out of our imagination writing something. Exactly what has happened in the past, that we are writing and recording. That is why it is called as, it is, history is about the real people and real things. And it deals with individuals. See, about individuals and nations and societies. History is discussing about real people, about even individuals and nations, about our own country or other countries. We are discussing about nations and even the society. It is not limited to kings and queens, but all human beings. You have learned about King Ashoka, King Akbar, queens like Jhansi Rani, about all human beings. Have you heard about Sindhutai Sabkal? She is a social worker, and she had adopted more than 1400 children and given life to them. So here in this study history, we are discussing about individuals, nation and societies, kings, queens, and about human beings. It includes all men and women, rich and poor, irrespective of their background in terms of religion and caste. There is no such separation like they are men or women, rich or poor. Anybody who has done their role in society, we are discussing about them in this topic. Why do we study history? It is helping us to connect to our own roots, strength and achievements, and gives us a chance to be proud about our own nation or our own past. And it is a record of having the legacy has an important bearings on our own lives. And history relates to the story of cooperative actions of a large number of men and women in their quest for a better life. Here, see, in group, all Indians, we fought against the Britishers and we got the independence. Here, it relates to the story of cooperative actions. We worked together and a large number of people, men and women, in the quest to have a better life. We are a free nation now. History relates to the cooperative actions, our own past, that is about Indian history. We have worked together to get the freedom. Archaeology. Archaeology, do you know what is archaeology? It is the study. History, we have discussed study of the past. Here, archaeology, it is a scientific study. It is giving authentic information. Study of ancient times with respect to society and culture. They interpret them to provide knowledge about the times to which these artifacts belong. Have you heard the term artifacts? What are artifacts? Ancient period, or the period where we were not able to connect to our history, where there were no written records, people used to collect the information from the artifacts. Did you understand what is artifacts now? That means the things used by the people. They interpret them to provide knowledge about the times to which these artifacts like it can be the things used by the people during that time. If I take the example of Indus Valley civilization, we are familiar with the houses which they have built, even 1 or 2 stories houses they were having. Bathrooms were having baked bricks and roads were built. All those information I can give from the artifacts, because the script of Indus Valley civilization, it is not yet deciphered. What does it mean by deciphered? That means we are not able to read the script till date. They interpret them to provide knowledge about the times to which these artifacts belong. The study of archaeology also includes written records that are very ancient and cannot be easily deciphered or understood. As I told now, the study of archaeology, it is helping us to connect to our own history. We are proud about Indus Valley civilization. How can we tell that we are proud? Because we are able to connect to our own ancient civilization where the script has not yet deciphered. And through these artifacts, These artifacts is having an important role. Do you know the person who studies about archaeology? Yes, archaeologist. These sources give more reliable and authentic information. As I told, it is real information. These sources like artifacts, suppose if you see a painting during how we are connected to Stone Age time, we are able to see by seeing the pictures, the paintings which they have made, we are able to connect to history. So these sources give more reliable and authentic information. For example, artifacts, as I told, burials. If you take the example of Egyptian civilization, you are familiar with the term mummification. What does it mean by mummification? That means, see, Egyptian people, they believed in life after death. As they believed life after death, they buried the dead bodies of the kings or queens and all, and they preserved the dead bodies. Even now we are able to understand about Egyptian civilization from these burials. And ruined buildings, monuments, coins. The artifacts, burials, that means you might be heard about mummification. Do you know to which civilization it belonged to? Yes, Egyptian civilization. What does it mean by mummification? Egyptian people, they believed in life after death. So they felt that one day the dead person will come back. So they used to mummify the dead bodies, keeping all the belongings or things used by that person. So this burials, it is having an important role in this history when we connect it to history. Ruined buildings, monuments, coins. Ruined buildings means we are collecting the information, as I told about Indus Valley civilization. We are not able to, we have not yet deciphered the Indus script, and we are able to connect to our civilization by the ruined buildings. The remains of buildings which we have found, from that we are able to connect to our history. Monuments, like the buildings like Taj Mahal you have seen, you might have visited, like these monuments, and even coins. Coins. Do you know the study of coins, what it is called? Yes, numismatics. Here I am having few coins. This is 5 paise coin, 10 paise coin and 20 paise coin. This was in circulation in India. But now we are not using these coins. Do you know the minimal value of coin which is in circulation in India now? 50 paise. So when I tell that the past, these coins like 5 paise, 10 paise, 20 paise, 25 paise, it was in circulation, that is past now. And at present we are having the coins in India, Indian rupee, that is 1 rupee coin we are using, 50 paise, 1 rupee, 5 rupees and 10 rupees coin. So we are discussing both past, present. Archaeological excavations. Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Nalanda are some well-known sites where excavations have been undertaken and valuable materials were found. In the previous slide, when I was discussing, we were discussing about Indus Valley civilization, and these two were the major sites of Indus Valley civilization. So Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Nalanda, have you heard about Nalanda? It was our ancient university in India. Nalanda was one of the ancient university in India. Do you know the other names of universities? Yes, Takshashila and Vikramashila. Nalanda University, along with Nalanda, we had other two universities like Takshashila and Vikramashila. Now at present we can compare with the Oxford or Cambridge universities. That means in ancient India, we had universities which were giving knowledge when other part of the world, they were not even familiar with the universities. Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Nalanda are some well-known sites where excavations have been undertaken and valuable materials were found. So we are able to connect history. See, this archaeology, it is scientific study. It is giving the information. We are able to connect it to history. Such excavations are often carried out and reported in the newspapers. Even now, excavations are happening and we are able to connect it to our past. For example, Dwaraka. Have you heard this name, Dwaraka? Yes, the kingdom of Lord Krishna. This was found beneath the sea. That means archaeologists, they have done the research work beneath the sea and we could get the information about the kingdom of Lord Krishna, Dwaraka. And Rakhi Garhi, that is the one of the sites which has found recently and which is giving information, one of the site of Indus Valley civilization which we have found recently and we are able to connect it to Indus Valley civilization, and this place is in Haryana, which is near to Delhi. Here, as I was discussing about archaeology, I'll be showing this picture and this is the artifacts. Now have you understood what are artifacts? Yes, the things used by the people during the ancient time. So what is the role of artifacts here? It is connecting us to our history. Where there were no written records, we are able to connect to history by studying about the artifacts. This is inscription. And this picture I have taken from the Ashokan inscription. And through this inscription, he had spread the teachings of Buddhism. When Ashoka, after the Kalinga war, when he had decided not to wage war again, and through the teachings of Buddhism, he had brought peace and prosperity in his kingdom. And through this inscription, he was spreading the teachings of Buddhism. Pillar. Have you seen this anywhere? Yes, it is in the Qutub Minar complex. Those who have visited Qutub Minar, you might have seen this pillar. It is famous as the Mehrauli Iron Pillar. This is Mehrauli Iron Pillar, which is located in Delhi. You might have seen, those who have visited Qutub Minar complex, you might have seen this iron pillar. Do you know who has built this? It was actually built by Chandragupta II. Yes, the very same Chandragupta Vikramaditya. He had built this in Udayagiri. From there, it is believed that Iltutmish, he had brought it to Delhi and now at present it is in Delhi. The specialty of this pillar is, though it is exposed to sunlight and rain, it has never rusted. And this fencing, it is believed that has got rusted, but the iron pillar, that has never rusted till date. That means ancient time, we were familiar with smelting of iron. When other part of the world, they were not even familiar with this smelting of iron. Another pillar which you can find in South India, in Kudajadri hills. It is found that lot of iron ores have been found from Kudajadri, and people, they were familiar with the iron ore and smelting of iron and making a pillar out of that. Archaeological Survey of India. Have you heard this term, Archaeological Survey of India? Yes, this Archaeological Survey of India, it is under the Ministry of Culture, under the different bifurcation here. Archaeological Survey of India, under the Ministry of Culture, is the premier organization for the archaeological researches and protection of the cultural heritage of India. Archaeological Survey of India. The Archaeological Survey of India under the Ministry of Culture. It is coming under the Ministry of Culture, and it is the organization which is studying about the archaeological materials researches. It is conducting the archaeological researches and protection of the cultural heritage of nation. This Archaeological Survey of India, it was established during the time of Britishers, and this is helping us to connect to our own history. The written record of writing history has started during the time of Britishers, which is helping us to connect to history. Maintenance of ancient monuments and archaeological sites and remains of national importance is prime concern of ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India. See, the maintenance of these monuments. Just now you have seen the picture of Taj Mahal, and the cleaning, the purifying of this Taj Mahal, it is done every 6 months so that we can maintain this monument. That is the work done by the Archaeological Survey of India. The organization, it is having a group of people who are working hand in hand, like the archaeologists, conservators, epigraphists, architects and the scientists for conducting archaeological activities and researches. There are a group of people who are working hand in hand to work in this Archaeological Survey of India. They are archaeologists. You know who is an archaeologist. Conservators means the people who conserve these monuments. Epigraphists, those who study about epics. Architects and the scientists, they all are working hand in hand to maintain this activity, that is conducting archaeological activities and researches. So, if you are really passionate to understand about our own past, we can work in the field of this Archaeological Survey of India and serve our own nation and be a part of history. Now, we will discuss about index questions. First one, list the main subjects that build up the knowledge area of social science. I will repeat, list the main subjects that build up the knowledge area of social science. Second one, do you think studying history is necessary and important? Give 2 reasons. Give one difference between history and archaeology. List 5 sources which can help us to study our past. Fifth one, find out at least 4 archaeological sites in India. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.